Hello everyone, there comes a moment in everyone's life when the old version of you no longer fits the life you're trying to build. Maybe it's the career you've outgrown, the mindset that holds you back, or the habits that once helped you survive, but now keep you stuck. Reinvention doesn't mean you failed. It means you've grown. And growth demands a new identity. You are not a tree. You are not rooted to one place, one path, or one version of yourself. You are fluid. You are capable of change. Reinvention isn't just about becoming something different. It's about becoming someone truer. Too many people wait for a breakdown to begin their breakthrough. But you don't need a crisis to evolve. You just need a decision. The world will try to box you in by your past, by your resume, by your mistakes, or even by your success. But those boxes are prisons. And you don't belong in a cage built by the expectations of others. Reinventing yourself is uncomfortable, sometimes even lonely. But it is the price of freedom. Because once you dare to redesign your story, rewrite your patterns, and reset your standards, you stop living on autopilot and start living on purpose. You were not born to repeat, you were born to recreate. So don't just update your goals, upgrade your identity, break the limits, rewrite the narrative, burn the script and become the author. Because the future doesn't belong to the version of you that played it safe. The future belongs to the you that had the courage to reinvent. Every single day, you narrate a story to yourself about who you are, what you're capable of, and what your life is supposed to look like. That story, often told in silence and repetition, becomes your internal compass. It drives your decisions, your confidence, your fears, and even your identity. But here's the catch. Most of that story isn't truth. It's habit. Maybe you've told yourself that you're too shy to lead, too late to start over, too broken to heal, or too average to stand out. These aren't facts. They're just chapters written by past experiences, echoes of others' opinions, and false beliefs born out of pain or rejection. And if you never question them, they become a cage with invisible bars, comfortable, familiar, but limiting your entire potential. Your inner dialogue is the architect of your outer reality. When you repeat phrases like, "I've always been this way," or "I'm just not that type of person," you reinforce the boundaries of your past, instead of creating space for your future. The truth is, you are not your mistakes. You are not your past roles. You are not even your past personality. You are a canvas with the power to repaint, reshape, and reimagine at any moment, if you're willing to disrupt the story. But challenging that story doesn't mean pretending the past didn't happen. It means owning it, learning from it, and then choosing a new narrative moving forward. It means asking yourself tough questions like, whose voice is this in my head? Is this belief serving the person I want to become? What if I've been wrong about myself all along? You see, the greatest prisons are not physical. They're psychological. They're built from outdated beliefs, unresolved trauma, and self-imposed limits disguised as a just the way I am. But every story can be edited. Every belief can be rewritten. Every identity can be evolved. The question is, will you dare to challenge the author inside your mind and give yourself permission to become someone new? Reinvention requires release. You cannot step into a new version of yourself while dragging the weight of everything you were never meant to carry. Yet so many of us do exactly that, clinging to expired relationships, outdated beliefs, dead dreams, destructive habits, and worn-out identities simply because they feel familiar. Letting go is not weakness, it is wisdom. It is the quiet courage to say, "This may have helped me survive once, but it no longer helps me grow." Whether it's a toxic friend who drains your spirit, a job that suffocates your creativity, or a belief that tells you you're not enough. Holding on to what no longer serves you is like trying to fly while anchored to the ground. Sometimes we stay in places that shrink us just because they once gave us comfort. That old routine, that old mindset, it was useful once. It kept you safe. It helped you cope. But now it's become a cage made of convenience. And every day you stay in that cage, you trade your potential for predictability. There is a cost to staying the same. People often talk about the fear of change, but we rarely acknowledge the danger of staying unchanged. Holding on to the past version of yourself may protect you from uncertainty, but it also guarantees stagnation. The person you're trying to become can't breathe in the same space as the patterns that keep you small. Letting go also means grieving, not always over loss, but over attachment. The identity you've worn for years might feel like home. Even if it's hurting you, you may miss it, you may mourn it, but you must release it to make space for the person you were meant to be. You must clear the emotional clutter so the new version of you can emerge with clarity and strength. And remember, letting go isn't always dramatic. Sometimes it's a quiet decision, a silent promise you make to yourself to stop settling, to stop tolerating what drains you, to stop making excuses for things that no longer align with your values or your vision. It's a gradual peeling away of layers that no longer fit. Growth and comfort cannot coexist. The journey of reinvention is not a smooth, well-lit path lined with certainty. It's an uphill climb through unfamiliar terrain. Messy, awkward, uncertain, and often deeply uncomfortable. But that discomfort, that's not a sign something is wrong. It's a signal that something important is happening. It means you are stepping outside the boundaries of who you used to be. Discomfort is the birthplace of transformation. It's the space between who you were and who you are becoming. And like a seed breaking through the soil, or a caterpillar struggling in its cocoon, you must endure pressure before you can break through into your next stage of life. We live in a world that celebrates quick fixes and instant gratification. But real, lasting change doesn't come from ease. It comes from facing resistance and leaning into it. Too often, people abandon the process of reinvention because it doesn't feel good. It feels foreign, shaky, and exposed. You question yourself. You miss the old patterns even if they were toxic, just because they were predictable. Your mind craves the known even if it's harmful, while your future demands the unknown, even if it's healing. But here's the truth, discomfort is not punishment, it's preparation. Every time you stretch into discomfort, you expand your capacity for courage, resilience, self-trust, and awareness. Think of the gym. Muscles grow by being pushed, not pampered, and the same applies to your character. You build inner strength by enduring, not avoiding the hard parts. You cannot reinvent yourself and remain emotionally safe at the same time. You have to be willing to unlearn, to stumble, to feel like a beginner again. You must step into arenas where you don't yet have mastery, where your old tools no longer work, and where your identity feels unsteady. That vulnerability isn't a flaw, it's part of the process. It's where your new identity is being forged. And yes, people may not understand the new version of you. They may question your choices. They may label your change as a phase, a crisis, or a mistake. But their discomfort with your growth is not your burden to carry. Their opinions are not your limit. What matters is that you stay committed, not to the comfort of your past, but to the courage of your future. You cannot create a new life while living in the same old environment. Your surroundings, physical, mental, digital, and social, have a profound impact on your identity, habits, and vision. If you're serious about reinventing yourself, then you must be just as serious about curating the environment that supports that reinvention. Most people underestimate the power of their environment. They think change is all about willpower, motivation, or discipline. But even the strongest mindset can be drowned in a toxic atmosphere. The people you talk to daily, the content you consume, the energy you allow around you, it all shapes how you think, what you believe is possible, and how you show up in your life. Ask yourself, does your environment nourish the future version of you, or does it keep dragging you back into old habits? Are you surrounded by people who challenge you to grow, or people who guilt you for evolving? Are your routines structured to elevate you, or are they reinforcing the same cycles you're trying to break? If you're trying to heal, but your environment constantly reminds you of your wounds, you're not healing. You're reopening the same scars. If you're trying to focus, but your digital space is filled with distraction and noise, then you're sabotaging your clarity before you even begin. And if you're trying to elevate your mindset, but the people you're closest to mock your ambition or belittle your goals, then you're fighting two battles at once. The internal battle of change and the external pressure to stay the same. Sometimes reinventing yourself requires separation before transformation. That doesn't always mean cutting everyone off or running away from everything. It means becoming intentional about who and what has access to your mind, your time, your energy. It means protecting your space like it's sacred, because it is. Rebuilding your environment is not about making your life perfect. It's about aligning your outer world with your inner evolution. It's about replacing comparison with inspiration, chaos with clarity, and dead weight with momentum. Even small shifts matter. Changing what you read, who you follow online, how you spend your mornings, what kind of conversations you engage in. These are not minor details. They are the architecture of your future self. Reinvention doesn't thrive in chaos. It thrives in clarity. And clarity can only come from an environment that reflects the identity you are creating, not the one you are trying to leave behind. One of the most common mistakes people make when trying to change their lives is focusing solely on goals, what they want to achieve, acquire, or accomplish. While goals are useful for setting direction, they are often temporary, external, and disconnected from who you truly are. Lasting transformation doesn't come from chasing outcomes. It comes from embodying a new identity. Instead of asking, what do I want to achieve? Ask, who do I want to become? Because behavior follows identity. You will always act in alignment with the type of person you believe yourself to be. If your identity is stuck in the past, I'm just someone who always gives up. I'm not disciplined. I'm not a leader. Then no goal, no matter how ambitious, can override that internal blueprint. This is why so many resolutions fail. People try to change their habits without changing their sense of self. They try to lose weight without becoming someone who sees themselves as healthy. They try to build a business while still seeing themselves as someone who isn't cut out for success. They try to become confident without letting go of the identity that was built on insecurity. But when you begin to shift your identity, your actions naturally follow. Identity-based action means asking yourself at every step, what would the future version of me do right now? It means showing up as that version, even before you feel ready. You're not waiting for external results to confirm your new self. You're claiming it through consistent action. It's about becoming the kind of person who doesn't just try to write a book, but who sees themselves as a writer. Not someone who wants to be financially free, but someone who operates daily with the mindset of a financially wise person. Not someone who wishes for self-respect, but someone who upholds their standards with every small decision. This shift is subtle but powerful. When you focus only on goals, you're chasing something outside of you. When you focus on identity, you're transforming something within you. And when the inside changes, the outside follows, not as a forced effort, but as a natural expression of who you are. That's the real power of reinvention. It's not just about achieving more. It's about becoming someone new, someone aligned with your highest values, deepest truth, and boldest vision. Goals give you a direction, but identity gives you a foundation. And without the foundation, even the best goals collapse. One of the greatest misconceptions about personal transformation is that it's a single defining moment, a bold decision, a dramatic pivot, or a powerful breakthrough that instantly reshapes your life. While those moments matter, real reinvention is not a one-time event. It's a continuous, evolving process. It's not a destination you arrive at. It's a journey you commit to. Too often, people treat reinvention like a project with a deadline. They decide to change, take a few bold steps, maybe overhaul their routine or start something new, and then expect the transformation to be complete. But true reinvention doesn't happen in a week, a month, or even a year. It unfolds in layers. It's subtle. It's messy. It requires patience, resilience, and a deep willingness to keep refining yourself. Even when no one's watching, you will have moments of doubt. You will outgrow what you thought you wanted. You will change your definition of success. That's not failure. That's evolution. Reinvention demands that you stay fluid, that you don't cling to old versions of success, identity, or even your own dreams when they no longer align with who you are becoming. Every season of life will require a different version of you. The mindset that served you in survival won't help you thrive. The habits that made sense 5 years ago may now be limiting your growth. The roles you once played, employee, partner, friend, leader, might need to be redefined as you mature and shift. Reinvention means regularly stepping back and asking, is this still me? Is this still aligned with who I want to be? And let's be honest, there will be setbacks. Days when you fall into old patterns. Days when the new version of you feels distant. That's normal. Because reinvention is not linear, it's cyclical. You will revisit old lessons with new understanding. You will repeat certain struggles, but from a higher level of awareness. You're not starting over, you're spiraling upward. Even if it sometimes feels like you're moving in circles. What's important is not perfection. It's commitment. Commitment to keep showing up. To keep choosing growth over comfort. To keep asking better questions. Forming better habits. And building a life that reflects who you are becoming, not who you've been. Reinvention is the art of becoming a student of your own life. It means staying curious, staying open, and understanding that transformation isn't something you complete. It's something you live. Every challenge is a mirror. Every experience is a teacher. Every day is a blank page on which you get to write a new version of you, no matter how many drafts it takes. So, if you're waiting for the perfect moment to begin, stop. Reinvention doesn't wait for permission. It begins the moment you decide that your past will not define your future. It starts when you dare to question your old narrative, when you release what no longer serves you, when you embrace discomfort not as suffering, but as growth. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to start walking toward who you know you were always meant to become. Because your future isn't built in one giant leap. It's built in small, brave steps taken over and over again. You are not stuck. You are becoming. You are not broken. You are breaking through. Reinventing yourself is not about becoming someone else. It's about finally becoming you, fully, unapologetically, and powerfully. So write the next chapter, not with fear, but with fire.